to another segment of my weird channel. So yesterday, co-worker suggesting this game to me, DayZ. I decided to download it the other day and give it a test, and out of a lot of the survival games I played, DayZ seems to definitely be high among the its genre, at least. Not others. I plan on giving my honest opinion as a new player to other new players that you want a pretty decent game to play for among the survival apocalyptic survival games. I would definitely add DayZ to your list. As you're okay with PvP servers or etc. With like any online gaming, from Fallout 76 to any of the Call of Duties, it's common, pretty much. And in the game, as you can see, the graphics are very decent. Like a lot of the older school games with building simulations, a lot of the functions of that aspect were built into this that I've noticed, but they are a lot more complicated, especially for people who are familiar with the Harvest Moon series or the Rune Factory series. They go more into that, where as it literally took a coworker about 20 or so minutes to explain the whole building aspect to me on how to build a base on DayZ, that they really modified that whole build your own to its too much. As in a later episode, I will explain the whole bait aspect and building aspect to future players, to new players, as I'm doing this video as a recommendation to another one of my co-workers who wanted my honest opinion on the game. And for the $49 to $50, $54 price for DayZ, it is well worth it. And so far from the video, you've noticed that really all I've done is walk around, and there has really been no action. It's because I've been following the coastline, and underneath the server I've been playing under, it is a PvE player versus environment, so really I don't ain't dealing with player versus player. To get a little bit more of a feel from it, and like other games, I'm dealing with an area that they call the coastline, which is generally commonly a player spawn spot, even though there are multiple spawn spots that I've noticed along the game, even though I have not physically encountered all of them. They are all underneath an app called Survive, which gives out a lot of information for the game, for spawn spots, vehicles, crashes, and etc. That for any newbie players is a very recommended site to download from the Play Store, as it will be a leading guide for you, especially since this game does not make it very easy for you to understand where the hell you're at, because you have your now for one, unlike other games, you do not have a map or nor wayworth, so you really do not know which direction you're going. And unless you have very good eyesight, the compass is hard to read as well, so going in different directions is hard for you to follow as well, unless you're good for that. But once in a while, following a main road, which, as I've been warned and would pretty much expect, the main roads for PvP servers, unless the servers have designated spots for it. For an example, PvP dash PvE servers, they will have designated zones where PvP is allowed and the rest it is not, to allow a little bit of a mystery as a dead zone like Fallout 76 after activating the nuclear sites being nuked by them in certain locations. But you do have telltale signs here around Chernobyl, or however you pronounce it, and along the main roads they are simply road signs. But these road signs can be a little complicated, as later on, if I can run into one, they are in Russian, and unless you speak or understand Russian, they would be complicated to understand. So for of us others, American, Japanese, Indian, Mexican, who cannot understand it, oh well, there's the perfect sign. Me myself, I will not try to pronounce it because I will get it completely wrong. Underneath I Survive, it will show you that and it'll give you an easier explanation of what the name of it is, so you would be familiar towards a more layman term of pronunciation. And as another one of my friend slash co-worker announced, any of the signs you see with this red line from it would pretty much be like saying, welcome to so-and-so, you are now leaving town limit, you are now leaving such and such place, or you're entering one of the two. Can't quite remember. But those signs are your definite telltales to know where you are going and where you are located. Currently, as I've been playing for a little while today, and I've got a little bit of a layout of the map from one of my buddies that I was playing with, who's belongs to a community and server on DayZ, which unless told otherwise, I'll have to keep them disclosed. Give me a second. I'm going to have to deal with the undead for a second here. And I definitely will add into a tutorial, I suppose, of collectation after I take them down. And at the beginning of the game would pretty much state, whether it comes to firing a gun, you're always going to get your weapon ready with hitting the L2 button